Hello? Oh,
Yo,
shit. Oh, damn, what happened? Oops, I guess I missed the intro. What's good? What's up? We live? Yes, sir, we are. Damn, my intro. I fucked up my intro. What's up,
well, throw
Brian?
it up, dude. Throw up that intro. We can play the intro. You got the intro?
Probably not now. Let me see. Fuck it, bro. We're just freestyling, bro. Fuck it. What's good, man?
How you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm all right, bro. I'm all
Yeah.
right. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of
It's
shit
been
going
it's
on right
been
now. Huh?
it's been pretty active lately, my friend.
Yeah, it has
Pretty
been, bro.
active.
I think, yeah, it has been. It's been a little bit too rough, actually.
What do you mean? This is
Uh,
Terror Drone, bro. This is Battle Drone.
it is, bro, but it's weary.
Battle content. Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, it's been some fucking foul shit going on. A lot of trolls, a lot of fake
Listen,
accounts, a lot of
listen.
burner accounts.
That that's not foul shit. That's the internet, man. That's the internet. That's
Absolutely,
something
man.
that we got to deal with. And uh, uh, I'll tell you what foul shit is. Foul shit is getting into real life, right?
Right.
Foul shit is saying that they're gonna call your mother.
Yeah.
Foul shit is contacting your homies or people that you think are friends with me or you and saying, heinous shit in the background. That's foul shit. Foul shit saying, saying shit that can affect your job or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's foul shit. Creating a burner account on and trolling somebody, that's the internet.
Absolutely. You know what I call that? I call that black ops.
Yeah.
So I call that I'm gonna go in on your shit after you block me and I'm gonna troll your punk ass. But I'm not gonna make multiple. I'm not gonna make 20 of them. I'm not gonna do all that. You know, if you block me for coming direct and you do drama, you know that's what you want. So hey, you know what I mean? So yeah, I know. But still, you know what I heard something you know what I've been hearing this for a long time. Uh is the comic book community too sensitive? Are we too sensitive, Brian?
um
Do we get into our feelings? I know I do. I know I'm
well, listen, I've been saying this for years, man. The comic book community is full of a lot of social outliers. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest.
yeah,
It's kind of like most people who got into comics, especially as kids, and that are really deep into it, maybe weren't the coolest kids that people thought it was to hang out with. Maybe that changed as we got older, but so there's a lot of social nitwits, as I call them, and
mhm,
in this world, right? And that maybe don't know how to use those type of mechanics, in their
right.
life. And so, yeah, people get butthurt very easy, man.
Easy,
And there's,
easy.
yeah, there's, yeah, it's
Yeah, I'm comfortable saying, I can be sensitive. It's just who I am, bro. I mean, I think a lot of us are. But one thing I like about the community is the friendships, bro, because they exist. There's patterns to it. You know what I mean? There's falling offs, there's disagreements. What sucks is when it bleeds into stream, into content.
mm,
If you could keep it away, if you could keep it out, then that's the best way to handle it. In my experience, that's hard.
kind of
We all
like
got personalities.
kind of like having a drama alert segment,
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, hey, that for me. That's the traditional one. That's the only one I've known of prior to you doing it. I'm sure other pockets, other bubbles.
You have to have it. You can't have it be your whole content, man. You have to have it just be
Yeah,
part of your shit. I mean, there's Saturdays where sometimes I don't even do drama, content. I'll forget about it. But there's a place for it then, right? So
correct.
then all my shit isn't known for being drama. I mean, there's still some people that just consider me being a drama content creator. I get it all the time from my boy Mel V. He's always
Oh,
giving me
Mel.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, shout out to Mighty Mel V.
yeah.
So, it is what it is, and I get it. But what you're talking about, that's why you have to have a special place for it. It's good in its places. And here's the thing, to me, the most important thing that I've gotten out of this YouTube content creation world is friendships,
Mhm.
right? And it's also I forget where I was talking about this. Might have been Melvy's show the other day. We was talking about how you have to like
Maneuver.
traverse these waters,
Oh,
very you learn quick how to traverse
yeah,
these waters.
that's difficult.
Yeah.
Really difficult, especially when you got like I like to call warring factions. Your friend,
Yeah.
you got this friend, he doesn't like that friend, they don't like that friend, and they don't like that group, right? And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
hard.
I always said I don't want to have to worry about my friends not being friends. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm,
hey, you don't have to like that guy. I'm not gonna stop being friends with him. Like,
right,
you know,
right. Yeah.
um,
It still can get tricky. It still can
yeah.
get really, really difficult, bro. You know what I mean? As I think a lot of us are finding out. So yeah. So what do you think about what do you think? You know, I joke around with the whisper cells a lot. Like to and in reality it's just a group of friends. But
The
do you think
whisper
they could be
cells, bro. I
yeah,
love that
bro, aren't they
name.
a bitch?
I love that name. I love that name because listen, the whisper cells you got to be very careful of, right? Let's be honest here. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Because let's there's a famous saying, and I don't know who said it first, but it's what people do with you, they'll do to you.
Okay.
So you have to be very careful in those whisper cells, right?
Right.
Is that the type of thing? And how deep does the whisper cell go? Is a whisper cell just like is that all it is for shit talking? Or is it just every once in a while, we're venting type thing? But the whisper cells can be very tricky.
They
They
can.
just
The,
spawn more whisper cells.
the one that I fuck around with, very positive.
Mhm.
Very, very helpful in helping build content. Like, dude, dudes have helped me a lot, bro. They helped me do this. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I had an idea. They helped me put it together, right? But don't get it twisted. I mean, it's we love the drama.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
everybody does.
bro.
Everybody.
We're just, you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
it's fair. You know what I mean? It's not like let's pick on people to pick on people.
Mm.
That's not something that I do. I don't. I am comfortable saying that I said 70%. So take that back. Maybe about 93.57%, if that's even right math. I like most of the community. I watch a lot of people's content, and even when I don't watch, I fast watch and I give a like. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like an ecosystem that suits me and suits my lifestyle. I'm a people person. You know, the way I grew up is very tribal,
Mhm.
like militant in thinking, and I really protect my friends. You know, but in friendships, I probably take them too serious, and I get like butt hurt too quick, and then it just, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
What comes out comes
totally.
out, right? And to me, that's why it's like a social ecosystem, bro. And
Yeah.
I think it's more positive than it is negative for me.
Well, then I don't think it's necessarily a whisper cell, right? Right? A whisper cell.
The people I fuck with, let me just be, I love playing on the whisper cell thing. But to me, those dudes in there, they're friends. So much
Yes.
so that I
Yeah.
won't say who everybody who's in there.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
Marcus likes to be snitching and shit.
I think whisper cells are a real thing though. And what I mean by that is there are like, and I talk about this all the time because people think that like you put something in a group chat, you put something in a Discord, you put something in a whatever, a YouTube chat, I don't care what it is, it's going to be seen by people and it's going
Right.
to be saved, and you act like so you just have to, if you're okay with being honest with yourself and not you know it's hard to navigate those fucking cells, bro. And they'll turn on each other. Like it's the first time I heard whisper cell was back in the day with the whole comics gate shit and how the and the gamers gate shit. And they talked about these whisper cells. Well, these whisper cells are real, and there's real whisper cells out there where people are just going to cancel. They'll find enemies and they're going to spend time trying to cancel that person. And that to me,
Right.
that type of shit's cheesy, right?
Yeah.
But I love how you call it a whisper cell, though, man.
Yeah.
I
What
think
is
that's great. That's what the Discord needs to be called, man. The whisper
right?
cell.
What is this guy? Oh, the mainstays, huh? Okay. See, now tomorrow I'm gonna give him shit for that, right? That's hominess, right? That's homie love. He left me off for a
Yeah.
reason. Well,
Yeah.
I'm the battle guy. I'm sitting on the field. That's what it. I got something coming, bro, and I think the community is gonna love it. I'm not. I won't even tease it, but it's big. We'll see. We're working on it. I think it's gonna be fucking fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I
Nice.
won't even fucking yeah. So yeah, man. So so did you see I took my trollness. I feel like I'm a troll with a purpose. I'm not an aggressive troll. I'm more of a defender troll, right? So the big guy, I call him the big guy. Daniel put up that poll about should he come back to drama. So I'll just ask you, do you think that Daniel should come back to drama?
He's gonna be made fun of even more.
Ugh, might be tough,
You know,
huh?
you can't keep flopping, bro. You know what I mean? Like, um, it's
It's tough, huh?
yeah,
Like I
it's
almost like honestly,
emotional. It's
I'm like I thought about it after I did. I was like, well, maybe it's better if he doesn't. You know, maybe it's good for his brand.
he would have to go like
He'll-
full troll. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you can't come back any other way. You got to come back out and want smoke with all of us. Anybody that
yeah,
ever mention your name aggressively,
yeah. There needs to be there. Yeah,
gotta
there needs to
demolish
be
us. Correct. You got to demolish
diss
us.
tracks on everybody. Yep, diss
Yeah,
tracks on everybody. Yeah,
yeah, because it won't work that way. Because
yeah.
you're went after an older guy, who ain't gonna really say anything. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So yeah, it'd be
I got one for you. So I talked to Comic Tom Garcia the other
oh,
day.
gotta
All
see.
right. Shout out to him for sending me one of these. Told me he gave me a call, told me he's gonna send me one. And he said, man, I like the way that you broke down the whole Sticky Goose thing. And I'm like, well, thanks for the whole Sticky Goose thing, bro. Like that
Mhm.
shit was classic.
Yeah.
And I think, unfortunately, because of that, and I'll just pick that name up right here real quick. I think what comes of that is that he is known for that. That's what he's known for. Think if you're known for something that is not cool or shitty, or you know
Right.
uh if you do a search on you, or in the social registry of what people think of you, and it's you got fucking destroyed by Comic Tom, bro. He destroyed you, and ever since that, he's going to be known as that. And I think that there's no way to fight that anymore. you
It's
know
he should have went full heel.
yeah,
It was almost his only hey, I'm sorry, I mean, I know it
yeah, yeah,
sounds the way it sounds, bro, but if you just go full heel and you do all your other content that he does, which the last four they've almost made me laugh out loud. They're good, whatever, you know what I mean? But you could have still done that and just been full heel, bro. You you,
yeah,
you can't be on the fence. And that's
yeah,
has always been his problem. You know what I mean? Is you gotta just say fuck all of us. Anybody that's ever mentioned your name, anybody that has taken a shot, made content out of you, built a channel off you, you gotta demolish them because you do have that 14,000 subscribers and they will watch. Oh, speaking of that, all right, Brian, what do you think of all the innuendos out there? It's not aimed at any particular person. Shit got crazy when Razor put out there with the promotions. I feel like people might be. Do you think channels have bought views, bro, and bought subs?
of course, totally, 100%. Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Mm,
In multiple ways.
right.
You know what I mean? In multiple ways. Um, the new way is what, Razor kind of showed. I know Marcus did a little video on it.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of a hot topic right now, but I think that the ways that are known to me are there's always been views and subs for sales on different web pages and Instagrams. They'll once you get into the YouTube partnership program or once you get into the YouTube something, it clicks and then you'll start getting emails.
Yeah.
Oh, I can help you. It just costs this much, and they'll straight up say how much it costs.
Damn.
So, oh yeah, it's fucking.
It's really
Yeah.
not serious for me, bro. I'm just having
Yeah.
fun. You know
Well,
what I mean?
that's the difference, dude. I think that there's a couple things that comes with creating content. I think that you get into this phase, especially when you're new and you start getting some success and you're like, okay, I'm going to go full on in this, especially if you get that success right away. Right. You're like, okay, this is, I'm going to go full into this. And what does that mean to you? Does that mean that it can mean a couple of things to a lot of people? For some people, it means creating a community, right? For me, for creating Beyond Wednesdays, it was 100% about creating a community. I had already done the flip side stuff. I had tried to build a freaking TV channel type thing, and 40 plus people, having to wrangle 40 people, and craziness, thinking that, oh, this is going to blow up and it's going to be nuts, to realizing that for me, it's about creating a cool community of homies, friends, people that'll come to my live sales, that if I start, maybe doing a retailer exclusive, might buy my shit for 10 years rather than just once. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel like that is viable. You can do that in this world. You can create a cool little 100,000 sub YouTube channel community that you build with, and be keen on the relationships. Or you can say, okay, I just want to shoot up this thing as fast as possible. What do I got to do? And people will buy subs. They'll buy views, thinking that if they buy the subs and there's no views to it, now I got to buy views.
Yeah. I just can't. I don't know, bro. That's just not for me. You know what I mean? I have I have some ideas what I want to do, and that's what I'm gonna do. And like I said earlier, I fell into a bubble. Motherfuckers were just willing to help because it's like it's a cool idea. And do this, you know what I mean? I think I got this little slot. I don't want to give it up, even if I shift away from this. Even I know that drama is not sustainable. But if anything, I can show, I can be like, hey, I got my start off drama. You know what I mean? Like,
Get your chops out of it, man. That's
yeah,
another thing. You're learning how to live stream. You're learning how to create content.
yeah.
Your content's good. That little video of you and Taco Bell was fucking great.
Yeah.
That was a fucking 10 of a video, bro.
Yeah.
Like the whole idea about it, I'm not cool. I don't like that you and Razor are kind of at this right now at loggerheads. But at the same time, dude, it was really fucking good content. That's YouTube content right there. That's old school content cop type shit. You know what I mean? That's a witty humor. That's what I thought Sticky Goose was at first.
No, Sticky, no, bro. Yeah. Sticky don't want to fuck around with me now, bro. Now I'll fucking light him up. You know what I mean?
No, I mean that's what I thought. Like Sticky Goose's content was like that type of witty, cool, visual and what you're saying, and you got these little jokes, and that's smart content, dude. That's good content.
His humor, the way he does it and the way he roasts is not. It's I don't know, bro. Like I don't know. I don't think he's meant to do it that way. I think he's meant to do it exactly the way he does it, bro. That's how he's going to do it. And he needs to go full aggressive. Stop, take your gloves off, bro. Take your gloves off, right? If he feels that's what he needs to do. He's a good content creator, bro. Let's not pretend that he's not. The Sticky Goose effect obviously always was real and still is. Like, I know there's I've always told you, I think on phone conversations before you, I've told you that there's only maybe 4 or 5 guys that if you call out in this community, they're going to respond. I believe that you're one of them. I believe that Biggie's one of them. I believe that Razor's one of them. I believe that I'm one of them. And I believe that Sticky Half-Ass.
Mm.
Because the way he perceives the whole community, right? Holier than thou. So if you're not on that level or a bigger channel, you don't got the smoke, right?
I think there's a key to all those, man. Okay. The key to me is that when you're in the crosshairs, you can say whatever you want to say, but when you're in the crosshairs, it's a totally different thing,
Yeah.
right? And things change when you're part of the problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is when you're involved in whatever is going on, it all changes. And I think that some people aren't willing to, for whatever reasons, whether they're like they've got a business or they've got a, you know, something that stops them from saying, you know, getting a little fucking spicy or getting a little fucking on, you know, on edge. It'll stop them. You know, that's why you know, we've talked about in the past that there's certain guys that they just don't respond to the bullshit.
I never thought about that. If it could affect, if he went rated R, how could it affect his channel or his content? I never thought about that.
Yeah, I don't,
you know, maybe that's the reason why he maybe holds back sometimes.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, it's smart of him to. It's really smart of him to at this point, and not because I don't think like he can't do battle content. I think he 100% could do battle content.
Absolutely, bro.
But at the same time, he's put a lot out there, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's put
a
lot of family shit out there. And once you do that, that's why I always said, like, you know, if you're gonna do this, you better be wearing a fucking mask and or having a voice changer or being a little Niobe, you know, South Park guy, you know, whatever. Because otherwise, it's a different ball game. And
speaking of Niobe, bro, like I never saw that coming. I remember telling Biggie, you know, dude, I didn't know that you and Niobe had that tension. And it's like he purposely came on. You know how he is, bro. You know, he runs
he's a little firecracker, man. He wants to get into it whenever he's ready for it.
But it's like, damn, dude, like, come on, man. You know, I don't never spoke bad of him till then. Actually, people would give me shit because I was kind of a, hold on, man. Niobe is kind of like, you know,
yeah, I've never heard you speak bad about anybody,
no,
man.
bro, no, dude. Only Sticky. Let's just be real.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But no, dude, no. Like I said, I enjoy most.
I think with Larry, I think with here's the thing with Niobe. One, he's been around a long time. He's an OG, right? And he's a creator. He feels like he's got a little bit more invested into this game than everybody else. And at the same time, he's a fucking he's like one of those fucking guys, man. You know what I mean? Like he's always McDonald's Irish. Is that what?
But dude, it's like it's kind of always why I kept him like at arm's length. His so to me, what he said about Marcus is more harsh than the Taco.
I remember when that happened, and I think at that time, and I still feel it. I don't think Larry was trying to be racial when he said that. I think that saying was comes from a different community that has nothing to do with being racial, and I think it was just a wrong choice of words. Somebody was saying the other day in some chat that they didn't think it was Canadian. How can you not think that guy was Canadian, man?
Bro, his fucking accent is thicker. Like it's
he's straight Canadian. Hard, yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
I think we differ there, and that's okay. I think you know, dude. I think it was, you know. Well, let's just say this: it was out of line. You got to know that you can't say that towards a black man.
There's ignorant people out there, bro.
Right. Just like Brian.
That's no shade. That's no shade when I say ignorant. That's in true sense of the word.
Right.
Ignorant. You know what I mean? Like they just
right.
They don't fucking know, man. You know? Um,
Yeah, that compared to the Taco Bell joke, which I feel is like out of place.
yeah,
What's
but here's the thing. I'm gonna call you out on that Taco Bell shit.
oh yeah. Come on.
Yeah, let me call you out on this a little bit
Bring it,
because
dog. Bring it, dog. Come on.
I don't mind the video you made. I thought that was clever. But what are you doing hate bonding with Brian LCS? What are you doing hate bond?
That's okay. So I give credit. That was a good. Razor did a stream of the psychology of a troll,
Yeah.
and that described me in there. So that is.
I will say
Let
this.
me dig into the wound. Uh,
Yeah, but
like
here's the problem, and I'll say this to everybody out there. Hate bonding is cheesy.
oh
That
no,
shit is cheesy.
I don't really like. It's high. It's respectful.
Yeah, yeah,
I reached out to Brian and said, hey man, you know what? After some time, I thought about what I said. It wasn't my business. I shouldn't have reacted that way. And you know what, man? My apologies. And that was that. Because I felt shit about it. So I had to circle back in my own way and say, hey, that's it. But it's just like, hey. It's like if we were at work, hey, all right, hey, that's you know what
yeah,
I mean? That's all that
yeah.
is. The Taco Bell was we react when our feelings are hurt. Let's say that, right? So
Yeah.
that
And it
was
was funny too. It was funny.
it is what it is,
That,
bro. I mean,
yeah, that was funny.
I'm all out here. People can make fun of me all they want. There ain't no mask. So I don't give a shit. But
Mhm,
I can give it back double now.
mhm.
You know what I mean? So it don't really matter to me. Um, yeah, that was all uncomfortable. I'm not even ready. Still, even really ready to process it yet. I feel I don't even want to really go there yet. Maybe I will. I know this, bro. In time, there could be that could be fixed.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I I I would I would rather Razor fix the situation with the rest of the community than me.
Well, here's the thing with Razor. I think Razor's trying to find his footing, man. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah,
like
right,
he's like this, dude. He's trying to find his footing. And I think he thought he wanted to go over here, then he thought he wanted to go over here, and like he's trying to figure it out.
right.
Um and I think that's okay. I don't I don't think that's bad.
No,
Um
I mean I know him most more than anybody in this community right now, besides probably George. And I've even in the whisper cell, dude's got a good heart. Dude's got a good heart. He's got a good heart so much so that he handled this stream the way he handled it. So, let's just be fair. Let's just be 100% real. Yes, I can hear it and say, okay, I watched it. They analyze it with the weapon, and then on my own, I analyze it with the weapon to counter it on. Like so, it's just like, dude, I still believe he handled it the way he wanted to handle it, and he's his own man. He can do that. I do believe that it started over. We'll just go like a flip side type of situation, or that flipper burst. We talked about the variant first. That's what I was.
yeah, it's
That's what it.
cheesy. Yeah.
That's what it came down to
Yeah.
over a fucking a reprint. So much so that it pissed me off. The fact that I always said keep the hominess being you, right? You know. So to me, it seemed like somebody went directly to him and said, "Hey, he exactly." It wasn't the breaking news. It was. Hold on, I'm like, Jesus, I don't remember the last time I did that. I think I did that with like Renovision in my first videos, but I didn't
Mhm,
remember that shit, bro. And so I'm
mhm.
like, what the fuck? So I'm watching them stream and I says, I figured it out. I says, okay. So whoever told them that didn't value or didn't consider how that would cause friction between me and him because he knew that
Yeah.
Razor a certain way and Razor would come to me. And the conversation we had was a tad bit different. I will say I got mad first. But you know what, man? I think he'll be okay. I'll be okay. I think, George is good road dog for him. And I
Yeah.
think he'll be fine. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to be instigating that. I don't, after this, probably don't have nothing to say. I know people dislike him and that's, okay, but I'm personally done with it. Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to instigate and continue to poke. the dude was my friend. I believe in time we could fix it out, but I would really, really love for him to almost make amends with the community because I think I look.
Well,
I put it to like this. I go ahead.
let's be honest. That's a problem, right? It's hard to build a community when you're not willing to. He's willing to, but he wants to build a community, but it's hard to build a community when you're constantly going at the community, right? And the drama world is built on the community, right? It comes from the community. It does. Whether people want to believe it or not, it does. There are these little mini whisper cells of people that send you messages, oh, hey, check this out. Look at this clip. What's going on here? What does that mean? Da 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 da. So, you're kind of going at the community too when you're taking part in this whole thing, and that's not a good thing. And you can only, again, to circle back to the beginning, you can only deal with that in so much of your content. And I think he's learning that too. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Which is good. His content's good. I mean, you could tell he's just trying to find his content. He's very new at all this. And he's trying to find his content. And I give him pointers. I tell him, I say, if I was coming up new in this time, this is what I would do. This is what I think you should do. This, if I was in your position.
Yeah. I don't know. It has to be. Well, being in a space, it has to be comic related. But I think I like the personalities more than.
Yes, 100%.
It's not about. Yeah, I know the books, dude. I could do all that myself, right? But it's the personalities. You know what I mean? And I just love the comics. I love the spec on it. Like I saw Furbird post about Stillwater. I saw that earlier, and I instantly remembered I got the whole run.
Yeah, that's a great series. Stillwater's was a really good series.
Fuck yeah, and I think like a flipper. So I got 3 issues of a cover A. There's only a cover.
Yeah, the old school one with the skeleton in.
Yeah, and I got 3 copies of the second print, just in case. Even though the market don't work that more, doesn't work that way anymore. But you never know, So I don't know, man. It's a bit. Oh shit! What was that coming from me? There we go. Yeah, it's a bit hectic out there right now. You know what I mean? So personalities seem to like win over the content sometimes. I think people tune in just to watch the personality more so than the content. Not all the time, you know what I mean? But I tend to.
YouTube is built on the creator. It's built on a couple of things. It's built on quick hit information or long form creator content where people fall in love with the creator. You know what I mean? Yeah. And whether that means that for whatever reason, that's the reason for whatever reason it is, you fall in love with watching that creator because, you respect them. They're a lol cow and you're just there to laugh at them, which that's a huge part of it. But you're falling in love with that creator in some sense, whether that's making fun of them, you enjoy what they how they bring you their content. And I think that if you're not a lol cow, then most people rock with you because you have some type of realness.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't know, man. I just said fuck it, dude. I just, you know what I mean? I always had the taste of it in Renovision, and I was like, I didn't want to really throw in the towel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why, Ferber reaching out helped me out. You making me that segment, bro. That was it. See, I just do that, and I run with it, bro. I just use it as my lore. I use it to.
Yeah, that is your lore. Yeah, that is your lore. That's how.
Yeah, like I got exiled. I'd follow Ferber for a long time on Instagram, and then he reached out, and then I didn't even know. I don't know how long you have been doing that drama segment with me in it, but when I saw it, I was like, "What the fuck?" And I instantly reached out, and I was like, "Man, bro, thank you." And I just saw it as, at that time, I was like, I learned from that. Oh, that's like before I thought about content because I
Oh,
knew.
and when you
Oh,
called me, I immediately told you, I go, oh, bro, it isn't for you, dude. It's
yeah,
because it's gonna fucking piss off Marco and fucking Pete
yeah,
over at Renovision, you
and I
know?
would, and I was like, that works for me. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah,
That works
yeah.
for me, bro. I
Hell
mean,
yeah.
that works for me. Speaking of them, dude, fuck them. I still, bro, to this day, I just can't. You know what I mean? I've never
Yeah.
said this before. I've told you, right? But I've never said this. What pissed me off the most about it is the way they handled it. There was
Yeah.
no
Disrespect to a core.
right. There was no way to. They did not even attempt to fix it because I played my cards and went figured out I'm not going to be. I assumed that you and Kyle were buddies, so
Mm.
I said, "Fuck."
We were really
Right.
good friends,
I said, if
like
Kyle
really
goes
good.
right, if Kyle goes to Brian, it all gets twisted. I look a certain way. They're going to attach me to Marco being a whisper cell, and I'm going to be
Total.
made to look like a fool. Eh, Didn't know how to do. My wife was the one who told me, "Oh, just do an Instagram live," and I was like, "Well, I don't want to do it because I don't. People don't follow me like that." So I just did the thing, and then I'm here now, right?
Yeah.
Kyle was the one I like. If Kyle don't exile me, I'm not here probably.
Oh,
So it helps
totally,
my
bro.
more. But yeah, and that's what pissed me off about Marco and Pete. They just see ya, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
all right, motherfuckers. And then so obviously I hold the grudge, But if they would have tried to fix it, at least make it right. I'm not saying I would have stayed on with them or whatever the case may be because it was probably done, but at least
Mhm.
they could have done that. But no, how could you go to Brian? You know how
Yeah.
Marco is. How could you
Yeah.
go to Brian? I said, fuck you, bro. You've been a dick anyway. Because
Yeah.
that's all you know the truth. Like we've never
Oh,
said,
yeah.
you know how he shitted on every single body, bro. He shitted on
Yeah,
Matt.
bro. I dealt with that for 6 months at Tales from the Flip Side when he
Yeah.
was there.
Shitted
Yeah.
on Kyle. Couldn't
Yeah,
stand Kyle.
he thought Kyle and Matt were, Jeffrey Albertson.
Yeah. He thought that they were literally would use the word pathetic, self-sabotaging. Um, bro, he would demolish them physically,
Yeah.
appearance, and everything. And I believe that that's why Kyle never really fully trusted me because Marco brought me on ass.
100%, 1,000%, bro.
That's why, and no matter what I could do, no matter what I could do or what I could say, he just never bought in. Even
Well,
when he wanted to,
here's the funny thing about all that. Now, Kyle knew that 100%. He also knew that, Matt had stabbed him in the back. He also knew that Brucifer had stabbed him in the back multiple times, and he
Kingdom of
let those
Nerds,
guys and he let those guys come back to him. And I told him as immediately when those things happened, I go, "Bro, what are you doing letting A2 Brutes back in your fucking in your chill sesh? Like, these guys are gonna put another stab wound in your back." And, you know, uh smart on him, I guess, because he's doesn't want anything part of it anymore. Unfortunately, that's a friendship that was kind of lost in the whole thing, which sucks.
right, right.
Um,
Well, I'm
you
a
know,
Matt guy, and I could be honest. I know you're not a Matt guy, but I'm a Matt guy, and
yeah,
me and Bruce for Kingdom of Nerds, had a good hominess. And
yeah,
then it went kind
he's
of right. Then it went a little bit cold, but I never like. I even said on that Instagram, I go, man, we just stopped talking, bro. But you participated in that. And
mhm.
that was the thing. Even when you said who's Lopez, I go, bitch, you were crying. Well, you were crying. I don't want to, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, really? Okay. I mean, they're lucky I didn't know how to make content like I did back then. Because, dude, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it would have been different.
But the
And
funny thing about it all is how many times have you heard this? Who's Renovision?
yeah, all the fucking time. And, dude,
Yeah.
I even hear okay, so I fuck them, right? So I was like the other day we were whatever. Who's Renovision? I've never heard of them. That's because you've never heard of them. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, bro, and I don't care how I look. I've told you, like, dude, if I always say if and that's just how's my mental approach to like trying to fucking roast sticky. I know the inner circle will watch.
Mhm.
So if it's 70 views, it's 70 people that probably matter within the bubble.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, I didn't care if I come at Renovision, bro. But by that time, how do I say this without like not giving up to because I like being secretive. At that time, I was like, okay, I was like, uh take it in. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, all that shit is funny. Here, let me do this for it, and here, put it out. If you guys get it, you do. If you don't, you don't. Right? I
Yeah.
got help. You know what I mean? And so now it's like, bro, full barrel. You know what I mean? But you know, I don't know, man. I just
Well, here's the funny thing about all that to me is that, you know, you kind of got pushed off into to be a whisper cell person, right? You
right.
basically did to go, you know, Marco wanted you to go keep an eye on these guys,
Yeah,
which kind of puts you in a bad
yeah,
situation to create content at all,
right,
right?
right.
Then they give you a bunch of shit. You leave there and you find your setting, right? You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
find your fucking place. Your
yeah.
fucking content's better than anything that they're putting out.
Mhm.
Your humor has gotten next level, like wittiness.
Yeah,
It's great stuff.
yeah. I could be
Uh,
myself.
you know,
Yeah,
you have found kind of like back to what Razor is kind of he's trying to find his setting. He's trying to find
right.
his way. And you know, it took you just like it takes a lot of us a couple years to do it,
It
you
does,
know?
yeah. And it took being damn near embarrassed. Like that's the thing. Nobody knows of Renovision, right? So it really didn't like none of the guys I rock with. Half the people in this chat don't know of them
Yeah.
until I came over
Yeah.
and kind of spread it. And then it's like Bruce is lucky I didn't wipe him even harder. If I could have figured out when he did, because I watch everything.
Yeah.
And I don't care. That's just how I am. But I, like I said, I'm a protective troll, right? So
Mhm.
I says, oh look at it. I didn't see him, but when if I would have like tracked it, oh fuck, this guy's coming over, I probably would have reacted. But once I saw Pete, and then I knew that Marco was coming over to this side, I'm like, hey man, fuck it, Darth Gatekeeper. Then I don't give a shit, and let me just smut him up real quick. And hey, I don't care what people think. You know what I mean? I'm saying, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. That's how I feel. I know him for who he truly is, not the persona he puts on, because it was a whisper cell before I even knew what that shit meant. Because that's
Oh
what
yeah.
that experience was. That's why Kyle never fucking trusted me, could never get comfortable with me. Marco, it was just all this, bro. And even when we were in our group, fucking Marco, I'm not the only one that complained about him the way I do,
Yeah.
and I know what are the chances that so you mean to tell me that when he would shit on all of them, maybe not really Pete,
Every one of them.
okay, he's not shitting on the rest of us with somebody else, like he's not talking to
There
Jedi
you go. If
on
they'll
us.
do it with you, they'll do it to you. That's
Exactly.
what I'm saying. If they'll talk
Exactly.
shit about all your homies, that's the whole reason that I had the falling out with Nico at Flipside. I realized
Oh,
if he'll talk shit about all your homies, then he's probably talking shit about you too. And sure enough, you root that shit out.
right.
That's what I mean by that. If they'll do it with you, they'll do it to you. So I don't even fuck around. That's what I'm saying. If somebody comes into my circle, I won't. I'm not going to let somebody into my close inner circle unless we're very like-minded. And what that means is I don't want to sit here and hear you talking shit about other people and our
Right.
other peers. If I see that shit and if it's heavy, I'm keeping you at arm's length.
I,
It's
I
just the way
don't
it is.
I don't even know how they've sustained. Like I don't even know how some of those guys stay there. And I figured it got
Yeah.
to the point where maybe Marco just leaves them alone, or I don't even know. I don't really care.
Yeah. That's the
Sometimes
thing right there. There
yeah,
you go.
you
Yeah.
know what I mean. But it's like, damn, guys, like fuck, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Sometimes I wish some of those dudes would just unattach. But then again, that's their group.
Yeah,
That's
let
cool,
them
man.
cancel themselves out. Let them they'll eat each other, man.
Yeah,
They'll eat each other.
I mean, there's good dudes over there, dude. You know what I mean?
There
That,
is. I really like
oh,
Sam and I really
yeah,
like Dom
I
Tober.
like Dom.
Dom Tober is my favorite. I love Dom Tober, dude.
Yeah,
That
so
dude's
do I. And I like Joe, bro. I like Joe. Me and Joe was like following on each other on Instagram way before we were on Renovision, bro.
yeah.
And I'm a Mac guy, bro. You know what I mean?
All I know all those guys. They were all Flipside guy, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
watchers. They were all Flipside viewers. So
yeah. Flip side, man. That's a good
every
era,
single
bro.
one, yeah.
That's where I
I know it was amazing, bro. It was an amazing era. It
go.
was I wish I could go back there content wise. But
Yeah.
it was during a crazy time.
That's where that's where I feel like I come from, bro. I feel like I come from the flip side era, bro. I don't care, you know what I mean? The way, because my first live was on Renovision, you, Pete, towards the end of the year, bro. But I was a big I still watch Mercenot, I still watch Long Short.
Mhm.
I watch Flip Side from time to time. I still stay within that bubble, you know what I mean? To
Yeah.
me, like I don't, like I told you, I don't chase clout. I don't even believe in clout chasing. But if I did, it'd probably be one of the flippers. You know what I mean? What I call
Mhm.
the flipper verse. Long short, you know, I'm a big dollar guy. I was always a dollar guy.
Yeah.
Gary
Hell yeah,
Nussey,
that was my guy, dude.
that's like my favorite speculator is
Yeah.
Common Deceptive and Dollar.
Yep.
The variant guys with long short and you know,
We did crazy things back in the day at Flipside. We put together a team of speculators. We called it the Prospect 10.
yes,
There's like
yes,
10 to 20 guys at any given moment, and we would just have each one of them pick their favorite spec books, and we would it was craziness, man. And I
yeah.
think that that crew kind of molded what is the speculator content creating universe, you know
I
what I
think
mean?
so, bro. Because it was a
Yeah.
lot. It taught it like I already knew more or less how to look for books, but watching Flipside and watching all that, it like finished schooling me. And then I was
Yeah.
finding fucking everything. I was like, look out for second prints. If the cover looks ugly, it might be worth something. If you've never seen it and you haven't seen a YouTuber talk about it, or a group of YouTube talk about it, it might be something. And it really did help me.
It's funny.
I found a
It's
lot of
funny.
shit, bro. Well, you
It's
know,
funny.
because you know,
Yeah, it's funny because that's I'll tell people all the time, like, if you're new in this and you really wanna get schooled on some on, what comics to look for, go rewatch all the flip side shit. And I had to go basically look at all the old school flip side shit, tally up, I had to tally up all the shows that I've done. And when I went and tallied it up, I'm close to like 2,000 live shows, 2,000 live shows done.
oh shit,
We
huh?
did like 2/3 of that over on Flipside in a 6-year period, you know?
Yeah,
And during that time period, we went through everything. Everything you can think of has been talked about on that channel, unless it hadn't been created up until that point. Um, and I'm not the type of guy to pull that cheesiness of like, "Oh, I found that book first," type thing, because the only people that actually gets respect for, being the speculator to find this shit out is the writer and the fucking the artist, you know what I mean? It's like that type of shit. But we talked about everything at that time,
every
dude.
a lot,
Everything.
everything. Yeah, and it was distinct content. I would call it the ESPN of comic book YouTube.
Yeah.
Because you were it was like, it was like you could learn from the shit. Like, if you were new to the hobby, all that
We
content would help you. Like
we
Tom,
were putting
dude, and others. There
yes.
wasn't many, but Tom, you guys, fuck, dude, that's really all I remember, you know what I mean? There were
Yeah.
other content creators like journals at that time, Thorough, a lot of that, right? But a lot of it didn't do what you guys did.
During Flipside, there wasn't really many, man. I know Billy was doing his shit,
Yeah,
Bueller,
yeah, yeah,
that whole crew. I think Legend, was probably around that time. Great Legend, and in that crew that I think he was part of that whole. I call it the Comic Core crew, but I don't think they're the Comic Core crew. Maybe that's just what they're kind of known as.
that's
But
where fucking
Niobe,
Basket Case, yeah, fuck Niobe, bro.
yeah.
That's where he
So
kind of that was the thing. That's why Niobe do a lot of knowledge there on the community, right? Even though he's not really part of it, but like he was back then, he's seen a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Regardless of how he is, I mean, I believe he's adjacent to Comic Core, part of it, bro, or got kicked out of Comic Core, because I think he got kicked out of Comic Core, bro. I
yeah.
don't want to like misquote, but
Yeah, TiVo back in the day, he's an OG,
yeah.
so
I remember
we were
Discovery.
doing 7 live shows a week
Yeah.
and still putting out edited content over on Flipside, dude. It was crazy.
Well, what's this? Look at Marcus. What are you saying here, Marcus Aurelius? Niobe has ran it many times that Bueller got to kill. Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's kind of hard to like. Who's this guy? This guy, I don't know about this guy yet.
The PTT? What's the PTT?
I don't know.
Understand the PTT. There's some kind of.
This is a guy. This is the guy who he does these little clips. I don't know if he's a troll yet. This is the guy that TM Nerdy thinks is promiscuous, fucking whatever his name is. What's it? Promiscuous time traveler.
Oh yeah,
he slid into my DMs warning me about, speaking of whisper. Oh, you know what? Let me ask you this, bro. I don't think I've ever slid into anybody's DM to shit on anybody or to warn anybody about anything.
Yeah.
And I know that's not your get down. And that's one. When I did my first video on Sticky, bro, there was people that came in there. I didn't even know who they fucking were, and I just blocked them all, bro. And the more and more I started doing it, once I did the second one, dude, they came out of the woodwork, and I just blocked them and put my shit on private, because then I was getting trolled by fucking straight angry white male, who I think is Chad Wynn. So, but I didn't want to block him. But all the other guys, it's just too much shit, dude. All this information you're giving me, dude. I don't care. I'm not going to use it. But what do you think of those tactics, bro? Because I tagged some people in that video I did, because it's like I did it to do it to say this. I mean, I think that's foul. I think you should let anybody judge whatever friendship they're beginning or whatever hominess they're beginning with whoever. I think it's foul for you to go into somebody's DM and warn them about another person. That's go ahead.
So the foulest, some of the foulest shit that Steal Your Vision did during that whole time period was, Brucifer, Matt, 00, Marco, and Pete were, anytime somebody would like say something positive on one of my posts or in a comment in a YouTube or be in a chat, they would reach out to them through DM and say, hey, I just want to tell you the type of person Brian is, and just lay the weirdest shit. They would say, I'm racist, I'm homophobic, I steal money from old people, I don't own my house that I live in.
Marco swore you were getting loaded. Marco
swore. He said,
I know.
I'm back on heroin, they would say all the time. Yep.
You were on welfare.
I'm on welfare.
Instagram diss track. I want everybody to go check
it out. And this is what they were reaching out to people and telling them. And the only reason I know it is because about 5 of those people said, here, let me screenshot what they said. And I literally had Matt on the phone one time. I said, Matt, I know you guys are doing this. He says, we're not doing that. You're stupid. I go, and I just started reading his messages that he sent to somebody. And you can't say anything at that point. So what I'll say is that shit's cheesy. It's cheesy.
Yeah.
And you're getting very close to that level of real life stuff, because that's almost as bad as like, what if that person's a business? What if that person's a brand and you're reaching out to potential buyers of theirs that, they work on?
I remember, because he would do this things like your boy Brian McClay, your boy Brian McClay. I said, hey, bro, I watched the top 10, bro. He's got good content, bro. I would tell him, I'm not going to stop watching McClay because you don't fucking like him, bro. And I remember when the war of the top 10 happened, bro. You should have, I was like, man, you going to take it? Because that's the fucked up thing about it, is that Marco was my friend, Nate. That's the fucked up thing about it, right? It was like,
I know that feeling.
Yeah, dog. And let me be fucking real. Like I haven't said this part. There was like, you know why Pete took my wrench? Because I stopped watching the content. So I wouldn't watch anymore, bro. He would get pissed that me and BK would run the live chats. And BK know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I love BK. By the way, shout out to BK. Right. Yes, Lord of Brooklyn is...
Yes, sir. Like AOA. Like AOA.
AOA,
yep. You know what I mean? And he would get mad. And I'm like, yo... And I'm like, man, this motherfucker just, I'm like, damn, bro. I go, Pete would get mad. Pete's getting mad, Lopez, Pete's getting mad that you're steering the chat, not to the, I go, bro, but they're staying within, we're cracking jokes. We're there to watch you guys. We're still watching. It's still, we're
A
interacting.
chat needs to be that. That's what YouTube chat is.
Correct. And I'm like, bro, why are you, and I would call him, you're like just a fucking evil boss, bro. I'm like, but I would give him shit. How I talk to whoever is how it got to the point my girl would at times tell me, dude, why are you even fuck with this dude?
Yep. Yep.
I go, she was like, babe, if you're not happy, then don't, when I left the first time, because that's true, because I saw what was happening and I was being turned into a fucking hypocrite. And I can turn my own self into a hypocrite by myself. I don't need to be turned into a hypocrite with a whisper cell when I actually like Highwind Matt. You know what I mean? And it was always the same. Like, dude, let me see your slides. Let me see your slides. Are you learning? Are you learning? I'm like, no, bro. I work, bro. I do labor. I'm not rich like you because we had our thing. I said,
Yeah.
bro, you want to pay me to be at home to do this shit? You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're not, bro. So relax. And it's like, that's what held me back to even try to get involved that way. Because even when I would give ideas, Kyle more than Matt would be like, whatever. Or
Why would you want to also do a show that you don't really want to be on?
yeah,
You know, like
well,
that.
yeah,
That's the other thing. I've tried that in the past where it's like, okay, let's throw people over here, let's throw people over here. We tried that at Flipside. It never works out, man. Yeah, and you can't just force people to do shows together. It just doesn't work.
no, not at all, dude. And like, I mean, I don't know. It's their content was, I didn't know. I was learning, and I know that you can do positive, funny content, in this community, through the community in a good way, and it can be funny, and
Yes.
you don't have
Yes.
to take shots, and I think that's the problem with where the community is too fucking sensitive, bro. It is what it is. It is what it is. With the trolls that we got going on, with the sticky goose type guys, they might take a shot at your content on how you are and how you look and all that. I think the
But
community.
here's the other thing. We might be too people might be too sensitive, but at the same time, um, hey, turn your speakers down a little bit. Get your speakers up. Turn that shit down a little bit. Turn your speakers down a little. Yeah, just a tad.
Okay.
Um, so uh, the thing about that shit is, um, basically, people they act like they don't like drama, but everybody likes drama.
Hmm.
Everybody likes drama. And there people I love when people talk about how they don't like drama, but then they talk about how they don't like drama for the next 40 fucking minutes. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
If people really don't like drama, they just won't talk about it, you know? But the problem is that everybody likes a little bit of drama. They
Everybody,
do. It's just the
everybody.
way it is.
And I asked
Um,
Mighty that. I asked him. I was like, "Yo, bro, do you like drama? Do you feel you would want to do more with drama?" Didn't seem like he does, but I think he likes the drama, and I think a lot of others do, and they won't really say they do, but they'll watch. They'll
yeah,
watch, right? Because the numbers don't lie, bro.
yeah.
There's no way I should get the views that I get, honestly, bro.
Well, I think that's why sometimes maybe I guess that's why Discord is so popular right now, right? Because you have these Discord VCs
Hmm.
where I think people can get more of their bitch session or venting session or whatever going on, but at the same time, it's not on the YouTube for everybody to see. You know what I mean? Because I think at the same time as that we love drama, sometimes it also becomes people just spewing about what they're pissed off about or what they don't like, and the point is lost in the continued talk about it. Does that make sense? Do you understand what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
because I don't know, dude. It's okay to have an opinion, bro. Like this is part of the community, dude. Like, um, it's just a soap opera, dude. It's just fucking high school. You know what I
Mhm. Yeah.
That's all. And we bleed it out. What's going on here? What do you know the drama where does it belong? But he loves Razor out. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think I think there's people in the community kind of could split us, or their content could be divisive.
Yeah.
And that's when it gets hard to navigate it. If your content is divisive, if people don't know if you're like being a dick to them or you're just being funny. And that's what I mean. Like it's hard. Like I don't think I could ever make content on lightheartedly joking on other content creators because I know I am sensitive and I could just out of respect for them, I wouldn't really do anything like that. You know what I mean? So
I'll only go in on a content creator, like really go in on a content creator if I have a reason to, right? And that's a personal reason to. The drama alert segment was always started because I would get sent so much shit to me, and it just became like a thing. Well, if I'm going to get all this shit sent to me, I'm just going to make a quick little segment about it and turn it into content and laugh about it.
yeah,
Um,
it has been great.
so yeah, and it has been great. But at the same time, certain things just don't work and people don't want to see. And it it's all about what your content is based on too. Like you have to either go just a little bit or none of it, no drama at all,
Mhm.
or go into it fucking, with your chest and everything.
Right. I don't think it's sustainable, bro. I think I've gotten as far as I can go with battle content. I think unless, um, the only one I really worried about is Niobe because he seems to still want to fuck around, bro. But like I said, bro, I J. Code him. I made you apologize last year. So, there's nothing you could
Well,
say.
there's that fine line, bro. There's that fine line that we talked about earlier. There's a fine line between how you create the drama content. My suggestion is that if you're going to get involved in battle content, you do it in a way that you make it funny.
Mhm, mhm.
You know what I mean? Because otherwise, people get in their feels, they get in their feelings, and you'll end up with 10 paragraphs in a comment section or something like that.
Which
It
is
gets
what he
it gets
yeah, which is
it,
what he did
it
the
gets
other day.
weird at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he did the other day, and I says, "Naomi, bro, come on, you had your shot, bro. Like Kendrick said, ain't no round twos, bro. I did mine. I waited for you. You didn't do nothing. I have nothing more to say.
Yeah.
I folded you up like a fucking paper airplane, drinking Folgers coffee in the morning, bro. It was that quick. That's another guy. It's like, but I do think that it's about run its course. You know what I mean? For me, I probably could do this, and like I says, I have other ideas that we're working on with some of the homies from the Discord, not Whisper Cell,
Yeah.
and I think it's gonna be fun, bro. I think it's gonna be
Well,
fun.
that's the key, man. That's the key. Everybody realizes that drama isn't sustainable. It's just not.
Absolutely not, bro. And I only think there's just a few trolls. I think there's just a few. I think if one or two of those or three were to not do or change their content, bro, there wouldn't. I think there'd be a lot of aggression lifted off the community. You know what I mean? It would
Shout
just,
out to Chucky.
what you call it? It would pop up somewhere else. Other channels might go through it.
Yeah.
Wanted to say, Gonzo, man, awesome. What's up, Chucky? Who's this, Derek? But so I don't know, man. I do want to do some comic book shit. Uh, you know, I want to talk about the books that I've read and stuff like that. So I do have some ideas, bro. Because again, like I just said, drama.
Yeah. It's not
No,
it's not
it's
sustainable.
it's cyclical, bro. It'll pass. I think this era, if you will, this will pass, and then I think uh,
But
after
it's always open for business, baby. It's
there are
always open for business.
yeah. But I think that well, that's not because I thought a few weeks ago, I thought it was pretty much done. You know what I mean?
Listen, the best at the drama game are the guys who do it in a funny, charismatic way. I think the best in the drama game that do that well are early Sticky Goose.
Mhm.
You Razor's very charismatic at doing it. You know what I mean? That's how you do the drama game. That's why, let's be honest, that's the ultimate drama game comes from the world of YouTube, right? And some of the hell, one of the best drama kings in this world, in this comic book world, is Ethan Van Sciver. He's a troll of all trolls right now, and he does it in a funny way. So,
Yeah, dude.
you
Yeah.
know, you
Yeah.
might not like who he is or what he does, but the dude's gonna make you laugh at some point. And I think that if you can be funny with it, that it's better than not being funny with it.
What?
You know, shout out to Biggie Shack, who's in the chat right now. You
Oh,
know, I
absolutely,
gave him
bro.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I gave him shit to begin with about the whole diss track that he did, but that was a fun, cool event. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Two content creators having fucking diss tracks against each other. That's funny shit to me.
That's
You know?
that's next. Damn, dude. Why is it? That's next level.
Yeah.
So when I think I hope one day dude, I hope one day, dude, dude, you know what would be great? Like if all the drama guys one day make peace and they could talk. Hey, tell me what you were thinking when you were going to do that video.
Well, that'll happen. Not for everybody, but it'll
Yeah,
happen.
bro. You know what I mean? Because some of the shit I've come up with and I couldn't do, I probably could do now. So like I'll just like I do the Tower of Babel shit, bro. I got shit lined out. Being a troll is hard, and anybody can be roasted, but I just have other ways to say, okay, well if you come at me that way, I'm gonna go here and do it there. You know what I mean? I got all kinds of shit, bro. But what do you think about the weapon, bro? Do you use I call it the weapon.
AI.
Yeah, I guess they call it Chat GB, whatever. I call it
Oh,
EBT.
yeah. Somebody told me the other day that you can look people up, like, tell me about so and so, and it'll like drop this whole thing.
Mhm.
So I gotta go test that out and see what it says about me. See if it says bad shit about me. Because if it says bad shit about me, then everything that I'm doing is not how it's supposed to be.
It,
But
it can be
you know
hard.
what I mean?
It can be harsh, bro. You have to ask it the right things, and it can be
Yeah.
an instigator, because I mean, I got the file on Sunday about the Razor stream, and I was like, oh, that's when a weapon is dangerous, because yes, that was said, but not in that aggressive manner,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, that's just the weapon
Well,
gas.
that goes back to putting the wrong,
Mhm.
inflection on the wrong syllable.
Yes, sir. I was like, no, the weapon is being a bit harsh. No, we're not. You know what I mean? We're not. No, no. But that's why I joked around with it when it was brought to my attention, and how fuck around and use it. I was like, what's a fucking weapon, bro? It's fucking weaponized. You can just, we put we put a few drama people in a category, and you should have seen the shit they came up with, bro. It made me look pretty cool, and then it made me like a little insecure, but it did it to everybody else we tried it with.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, I mean, ask it to counter that guy in this point, and it did. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
wow.
Yes, sir. And I said, see, we've weaponized it. It's a fucking weapon. But then I joke around like, well, I don't need to
I'm
go.
calling it right now, bro. I'm calling this right now. You're gonna start seeing people in chats, trolls in chats,
Yes.
using that. Counter this, counter that, counter
Mhm.
this. If
Mhm.
they can do that, we're gonna start seeing an influx of people, trolls in the chat, being like, counter what he's saying right now. Counter what he's saying right now. You watch. I'm calling it right fucking now.
Absolutely, bro. They're going to use it to break down what it's easy, so you don't got to watch. You just get the transcripts, and then you can just go from there. You don't even
Yeah.
have to fucking watch, right? But I do it the old fashioned way. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna speed watch, because I watch for mannerisms, body language, because that could give a lot out, and you could a person could pretend to be tough, but you can see in their body language that they're not. And a person could be. That's why when I didn't agree with. I agree with 50% of how the weapon did it on Razor and Georgia streams, but I don't take it that way at all. And that's where that shit could be dangerous, because if you do it and you see it, oh fuck that. Nah.
So what do you have to do? You have to go, you tell it, you have to put in like a link to your YouTube channel, and it tells you, you tell it, hey, tell me about this video. What were they talking about in this video? And it'll tell you what it's talking about.
Yeah, transcript and everything. And you got to ask it certain questions. You know what I mean? It almost got to be specific, or you can say, "Hey, you can ask it like to analyze it in a drama." I'm probably not explaining it well because, like I got help.
Yeah.
Produced. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
I, I can't describe it, but in layman's term, yes, bro, it can be weaponized. You can use it for battle content. You can use it to make your content better. You can use it for it to, like, if you want to talk about fucking, I don't know, X-Men 5
Yeah.
to 15. I think
Yeah.
if you feed it that information, it'll tell you how to break it down, possibly talking points, all that, bro. Um, so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty dope for like, if you want your content to get better, and if anybody, I think I'm not that computer savvy, but I think
Well,
it's
here's a problem, kind of the problem with it though. You have to be careful. This reaches back to buying subs or using the new promotion tool on YouTube. You have to be careful with that stuff because it starts to make it easy to do what you do, and then you get complacent. Does that, like, you're not going to search out how to do the stuff in like reality, like, actually come up with a good idea for a show, or actually put in the work to creating the community. You're just letting this AI tool to do it. And it's the same thing with sometimes on the new way to do promotion, it won't allow just anybody to put anything in those I want to put money behind this video, go send it out. It it chooses what it wants to put out there.
right.
If you don't meet its nanny bot areas.
Yeah,
So what if at some point, chat GPT is nanny botting you and you just don't know it, and it makes your content really bad. You
mm,
know, if you aren't able to look at what it's spitting out, like, I know some people use it for hashtags or stuff like that. If you aren't used to, or you don't know what to actually kind of look for, you could be putting out bullshit hashtags for you. You know,
right, right.
so
Um, if you don't mind, because you were open about that, you talked about on one of Razor stream about how you promote it, and none of it fucking it
yeah, it
didn't
told
promote any of it.
yeah, it told me that on one video, it told me that there was a policy against talking about politics, and it wasn't even a political video. It was an interview I did with. Funny enough, it was an interview I did with Neil Adams,
Mm,
and I don't remember him ever talking about politics in it. Maybe he did just in passing, but so the nanny bot wouldn't let it do it. I tried to let it do my Eric July interview. It said that my Eric July interview was uh, promoted violence and something else, or I was like, what? I don't know. And it said the same thing for another video. So I tried it when everybody was first talking about it. And listen, I'm not disparaging it. I
yeah,
think it's a great way to, if you want to put some money behind your videos, and you think your video is good, and that's what you want to do, great. I think that's awesome.
yeah.
But the problem is that if if you if you want to do that, and at the same time your content maybe isn't that great, and it's not going to show on the other analytics. For instance, um, if only the videos that you're putting out there are getting those type of views, you're gonna have to spend a lot of money. You know,
Mhm.
work at creating your craft, at making your craft good too. Make sure the content is good. Make sure that try to grow some organic stuff there too, because you know you're going to come to do a live show and there's going to be 5 people in it for the rest of your time, but you're going to be 100,000 subscriber, and it's going to be kind of weird. And that, I don't know if that throws up for your algorithm too, or I don't know.
Yeah,
But
no.
to me, it takes a little bit longer, but it feels like when it's organic, it just feels better. And maybe I'm not one to view or sub shame. I think that's cheesy, so you'll never see me do it. View and sub shaming is beyond cheesy. YouTube is hard sometimes, man. Sometimes you got to catch a wave. Sometimes you got to get lucky.
Yeah, and it could, and like I always say, bro, it could be used against you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, it's because it's obvious, bro. Like that social blade, that's a motherfucker, bro. So all of you guys out there, you know what I mean? It's there. And I'm not talking about any particular, I'm mainly talking about bigger channels, to be quite honest, right? I did something, so I was fucking around with social blade. I was like, oh damn, how do you pick up 500 let's just say 100 subscribers in a month? If you're in this bubble, I just don't, you know what I mean, bro? And it just, and you could see spikes and then nothing.
So let me tell you something. There is ways to read those that show that instantly nothing's happened, but there's other ways. Like I go I've done this with 2 channels. As soon as we hit 3,000 subs on Flipside, things just started going from 20 subscribers a month to like 150 to 300 subscribers a month. And it's starting to happen on my channel too, where like for the longest time, my channel was like, 50 subscribers a month. And now all of a sudden it's 200 subscribers a month. Damn. So I don't know if you hit these certain plateaus in YouTube and it helps you with the algorithm more. But at the same time, I'll tell you this: collaboration is one of the best things you can do on YouTube.
Yeah,
it's such a key, especially if you do live shows. It's a key to doing it. So if you collaborate a lot and then you take a break, you could see these spikes depending on how you put out your content. Also look at somebody puts out his content. My content, you can go to Social Blade and you can tell exactly what my content is. You see these spikes like this on the views. Well, it's because I'm doing a show every 2 days, and my shows plateau at anywhere from like 1,300 views to 2,500 views, and then it ends. That's because there's another show the next week that people are going to watch rather than watching that old stuff. There's a difference between evergreen content where it just continues to go on an upward trend as to where like live shows, most live shows, you're not going to get evergreen content out of, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, speaking of live shows, bro, I mean, you got a lot of respect in the organization which will be revealed sometime soon in the Whisper Cell, because bro, we watch a lot of shit. I watch a lot of shit, bro. Nobody's doing lives with that amount of people in the live chat, bro. And that's community based. That's built off a few years now. Flipside, after that, and to now.
Back in the Flipside days, it was crazy. Bro. We would have 500 easy in every chat.
Bro, back then, you know what it felt like to have your comment read if you were funny? I had those moments. You know what I mean, bro? And I had those moments. And I remember one of my, I like to pat myself on the back when that shout out you gave me on all those Star Wars books I was finding for fucking dollars, dude. And it wasn't bro. And it wasn't just me, bro. It was, dude, I can't even remember their names. They were finding shit, bro. And that was cool. You would post it. Nico would post it. Cause that was back then. And those are the things they're like, yeah, baby, I'm a fucking flipper. Cause I would sell all that shit. You know what I mean? Cause I would dig. Now, not so much. Now my kids are older. It's kind of hard, but your shit, dude. I remember it plateaued. Not plateaued, bro, but there was a lot of fucking a lot of people watching that 1-2 weeks. I was like, damn, dude, I don't remember, close to 200, bro. I think you got over 200 and then it went down, but easy 150 plus, bro. And not that many do that, bro. And I think that's like, you have a spot. Marcus Aurelius has a spot on FOC and Chill. And there are others, even the Still a Vision. They got their little spot, you know what I mean? And other community members, Legion, DJ Links.
Shout out to Mark. I like Mark.
Mark Wayne. I call him Mark Wayne.
Mark Wayne.
He's Tower Babble, bro.
Tower Babble is one of the greatest storylines ever written in
comedy. I have He's my season finale. I have to change things around. I'm gonna have him on, and we're gonna do
Yeah.
some live battle. Well, you'll see. But I know he's a good dude. But I know he's battle content ready, bro.
Yeah,
That motherfucker got
he's
shit
good,
on
dude. Yeah.
everybody, and I know he does. And I've told him, I go, bro, I know that. I don't know if you will ever use it, but I'll have those. We'll talk about those. I'll talk about that with him. But so
You don't
yeah.
want to get that paranoid though. You know what I mean? Where you
What,
gotta have fucking
you know
things
what,
in the
what I like
tub.
about what I've learned to like about Mark, he can take a joke.
Yes. Yes.
He can take a
Yeah.
joke. He knows.
He's got very interesting humor too. Like
Yeah.
whenever I watch him on shows, sometimes people won't get his jokes, and he's just kind of waiting there for it. You know,
Yeah. But that's the thing. And I told him, I said, hey, bro, I didn't really, I don't know, bro. I thought I just kept you. I don't know. I thought you were kind of, and he goes, no, tell me, bro. And I was like, nah, bro, it's all good. No, tell me. I thought you were a conceited DC prick, bro, and conceited. And he goes, I am. I go, I know. And that's when I knew, okay, because he gets
yeah,
my stick and I get his stick, and he does his,
humor.
yeah, like a good
Dude. Yeah.
show. He's a good
I
dude.
met I met Mark way back in the day on Comic Man Andy's show. That's how I met Mark. Mark was the first person from this like side of YouTube that I ever met back in the day.
Really? Dude, one show I miss is Simpleman's, bro. Like a
I miss
motherfucker.
Brian, dude. Brian Wood is
Bro,
the
man, he's one of
homie.
my Rushmores, bro.
Yeah,
Easy.
he is the OG. Like him, TiVo. Those to me, those two guys are kind of like the OGs and guiding everybody on how to really do this. You
Yeah.
know, um,
FOC.
dude, not just FOC, but like how to create content well, like making sure that your sound and audio and video is good.
Yeah, that's
He edited well back in the day. He had great intros, and his content was excellent. And unfortunately, he just got tired of it, man. And that happens to a lot of people. He was doing it for a long time, but yeah, he's like one of my mentors in this whole thing. And
yeah.
even though we both started at Flipside around the same time, um, he figured it out in a major way.
What do you say?
So
But yeah, no. He's one of my OGs, bro. He's one of my Mount Rushmore. Him, Jim Comics.
yeah,
I didn't I saw Something's Killing Children on previews. But once I started watching him and Bolo's content, that's when I started to pay attention to the variants
yeah.
and the second prints. That's why I didn't miss on any of that shit. I
You could
pre-ordered
thank
all
Brian
that.
Wood and Bolo for the FOC. See, that's what I'm talking about. So I've been talking about this a lot lately. It's very easy to fall into the same old stuff and creating this comic book content that we create. It's very easy to fall into doing lists, market reports, and pickups, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, but everybody's doing it. Everybody. It's hard to come up with new stuff. You can thank Brian Wood and Jack DeMeo, aka Mr. Bolo, for creating the FOC list show segment. Nobody had done it before them. Publishers didn't like the fact that they were doing it, and it was absolutely crazy. Retailers would send them dirty messages saying, "What are you guys doing?" Telling everybody about FOC. Like it was a crazy thing. Most people haven't even heard of FOC until they started their show on it.
Brian, that's why I call it FOC.
Mm-hmm.
And other people call it previews or pre-orders or whatever it was.
Yeah,
Bro, I remember that's why they missed on Kanto. Um, um, dude, whatever you can think of back in that time, bro. I would always watch. It was like main event. It was main event for me is watching those I don't know who built the content, but it was them. But they would put all second prints.
yeah,
They would list second and thirds that were coming out, bro, and they would do
yeah.
1 in 10s. They're like, watch out for this, and I'm like, Kanto, what is that? They were on Kanto way before anybody talked about Kanto. Same thing with Skit and all
Yeah,
that
something's
shit.
killing the children, all of it, dude.
A bunch of stuff, bro. I'm like, damn, dude, and it was dope, bro. And then I even remember why I call myself a reader speculator, because I heard that first from Gary Nusser, bro. Comic Deceptive. That when this guy,
Something that
yeah,
something that's funny, bro, is whenever I meet somebody that's like in the industry, that's like a big wig in the industry, like a publisher or something, most of the time they'll say to me, like if they know me from out when I go to introduce myself, uh, the most I've heard, if they know me already, they'll say, "Yeah, I know who you are. I used to watch you on Simple Man's show." You know what I
yeah,
mean? They all watch Simple Man's. Ross Ritchie, Philip Sablik,
this
Dinesh
guy,
Shampasini, like all those guys watched that show because it was such a big deal and it was pushing books. It was causing these books to shoot up and in print because more eyes on it for FOC, more people going, okay, now I need to order that book. Like publishers were starting to take note, like, holy shit, what's going on here?
right?
Um, it
Yeah,
was crazy.
they were ahead of the game. That's when that was before all the drama. Well, at least in our bubble, because I
The
know
drama, trust me, the drama was happening behind the scenes even worse than what's going on now. Trust
oh
me.
yeah,
It was rough. It was rough at that time period, man.
no shit. It was
There
just
was
it was so many of you, bro, and it because people got caught out for stealing content, right? And I always felt that you could feel the tension. I remember when I would talk to Marco, watch Flipside is gonna break up, bro, because there's too many alpha males. And speaking of Mark Wayne, there's too many alpha males talking about the same variants.
yeah.
It's too many alpha males talking about Star Wars. Everybody wanted to be the first to call this variant.
I used to have to stop fights all the time because people would say, "Oh, I thought of that first. I thought of that first." It's like, what is going on here, dude?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
big, bro. You could
weird.
sense it. I
Yeah.
could see it off the screen. And the more and more me and Marco got more of a friendship, I was like, yo, bro, that's never gonna work. Everybody will break off. And
Mm. Yeah.
sure enough, exactly what happened, bro. And
Yeah.
and and
You
you guys
put
all
you,
set up.
that's why they say there's that saying that threes is it three's a crowd, right? Because you can have a small group of people create and continue that and do it and succeed. You get a large group of people and you're always going to have some people in there. It's like one out of every seven people always thinks somebody's talking shit about them and is just a team killer. You know what I mean? I don't know what you call that. They're team killers. They're nuclear bombs for a team or setting.
And I don't. And honestly, bro, that's not like how it is in with the Discord homies, which I lovingly call
Well, it's
whispers.
you're probably a smaller. You're not 40, 50 people in there,
No,
right? You're
no,
probably like
I mean, Marcus put it in there. Marcus is always.
yeah.
I said
That's
that
what I
with love.
mean. You're a smaller, closer
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
group.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then, but it's like a lot of love, a lot of positive, bro. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, bro. See that shit with Razor pisses me off so much because I almost feel like I sacrificed our friendship to prove a fucking point. And I'm not that weak to be gaslit to go after somebody who I consider a
Mhm.
friend. But
You
I
got to
believe,
learn from it, dude.
I know, and I believe
You
I
don't learn from it, yeah, and
right.
how to
I
handle.
know. Well, you
Yeah,
know what? I see what was trying to be done. So how about I just do this and say, hey man, we can mend that bridge and it can be mended. Maybe not right now. Um, but there's just a lot of stuff I don't agree with. But I don't mean to be, a mushy, but I generally love the community, bro.
yeah,
This
yeah.
is
That's
my bro.
important, dude.
I
It's
look. I'm
important.
not the prettiest dude in the room. And now I'm comfortable, confident being on screen. The
Yeah,
mask was just, it was an idea, right? But now, I'm comfortable with it. You know what I mean? I want to do it. I want to have fun. And if we get into drama, well, I can fucking do it with the best of them. And I'll go the extra mile, like go to Taco Bell, or I had one plan for this other guy, and I was like, I hope he, because then I'll do that. And then it's like, if I can make people laugh and talking shit, hey man, fuck it, dude. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
you gotta be careful though. You don't want to turn into Sticky Goose white knuckling it on the way home because he wants to take
Oh,
a video of somebody, right? You don't want to let it
well,
get that,
hey,
that
I, I,
too much into your
I
head.
did that with Niobe because I was like, man, fuck this dude. Nobody likes him anyway, so I'm just doing everybody a fucking favor. You know what I mean? I'm gonna cook this motherfucker because nobody likes him anyway, and fuck it. You know what I mean? They laugh, they laugh. You know what I mean? Like,
Somebody in the community sent me a, and by the way, shout out to Nobi. I like Nobi, you know. I think he's a little firecracker, but I love the guy. But I will say this. Somebody sent me because I'm telling the community, hey, I want shirt ideas. Give me shirt ideas. Somebody sent me a shirt idea of you. It's you in a mask, and it says and it's your line about butt rock.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good. That's one of my better moments, bro.
Yeah.
And that shit just came. That shit just came to my. Just you know what I mean? It just came to my head
Because
because
butt
I,
rock
I would
sucks.
fuck with Niobe. He has some of the best diagnosis on Sticky. I think they're better
Yeah.
than mine, better than a lot of people's. And I got to rock with them on doing that shit. And you know, and I would one time I was listening to White Scorpion. I was like, bro, really? I go, nobody like even back then, nobody liked White Scorpion, dude. You know what I mean? So I knew he liked butt rock. And I've always called it butt rock and glam. So I says, I'm gonna hit him with the butt rock. I just do that off the top. I don't even write that shit down, bro. I do it in one take and I'm out, bro. That's it. Comes out the way it comes out. You know what I mean? The only thing I love to do is edit the clips because I
Mm,
like to tell a story
yeah.
in the battle content. Let me tell you why I view it this way. You can see it. You know, if it goes over your head, it goes over your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah.
But we've been going for. I don't know how much time you got. I don't know if you want to open up the chat for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm chilling, dude. I'm down for whatever, man.
It seems a little tame. I don't think we got any trolls.
Yeah.
Let me see. Hold on. I don't have my glasses. I need glasses. Yeah, I need glasses, Brian.
All
Hold
right.
on. Let me see. All right, 1 second. Um, but yeah, man. Anything you got coming up right now that you're about to days as
I've
far
got oh, I'm a
as fucking noob.
cannabis. Um, all right. What do I have coming up? We got our industry show tomorrow. We're gonna be talking about the whole craziness that's going on with Diamond again. The deal falling apart for the 6th time, or
Oh,
7th or
me.
8th.
Oh, my bad. This is my road dog right here.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
This,
hell yeah.
bro. What me and him, and I don't want to give up another a member of the Whisper Show got coming. I don't even want to tease this shit, bro. I think I tease it to fucking Tower of Babel, but other than that, I don't want to. Just because I think it'll be fun. The link, if you can put the link in the chat, Sickle, I think it'll be fun, bro. I think it'll
Yeah,
be dope. I think everybody will like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, what was I just gonna say?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
I know you've been. First of all, I want to say the first time I saw Mark Spear was on Beyond Wednesday.
That's been a crazy ride, right?
Yeah,
Holy shit,
yeah.
dude.
It wouldn't be me if I didn't take a shot, and then Renovision and all them Kingdom of Nerds, all them leached on. But the first time I saw Mark Spears, yeah, was on Beyond Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah. I've got funny stories about that. I'll tell you off air.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, um, the crazy. I'm just very happy to see what Mark is finally able to realize that he's made it. Dude's been trying to break into comics for 25 years, and I think it wasn't until the last maybe 3 or 4 months that he's finally started to realize that he's the hottest artist in comics. I mean, there's no
Yeah.
doubt about it. And it was fun to see him have a good time at the con and all that craziness and whatever that is. So
Get out your comfort zone, Sicko. This is a good guy, bro. This dude, Brian, for me, good guy, bro.
what up, sicko?
He helps me with all this shit. He's in Canada.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
I'm
You're on
telling you,
mute.
our whisper cell, we circle the whole country.
Yeah, you're on mute, sicko.
Oh, you're on mute. So he shattered the glass ceiling.
There you go.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know, but I think you and Billy were the first people I ever watched on YouTube that got me into comics. And
No
so
shit.
watching you and Billy actually provided me a lot of knowledge, which got me hired at a local comic book store. Because I'm disabled and it's hard to find work. So now I go through all the keys in the collection, and it's my job to put all the cool books out. And you're directly responsible for part of that success, and I just really like to thank you for that.
Wow, dude, that's fucking badass, bro. That's dope. That makes me feel great, man. Hell yeah.
You're doing a lot of work, and I've seen you progress. You know, like you've really hammered your craft, and
yeah, thank you, brother.
I hope we can see you for another 4 or 5 years. You know, I hope you don't go anywhere anytime soon.
I appreciate that immensely, man. That means a fucking hell of a lot. Dude, that's why, to be honest, like, there's two reasons why I do this. Number one is it's become a social outlet. You know what I mean? I think that's what happens to a lot of us. We talked about that earlier. You know, like it becomes a place where we find friends, and it's not just a come up for us anymore, or knowledge. You know, that to me it is 50% of it. The other 50% of it is that I'm hanging out with said friends and shooting the shit. You know what I mean? So to be able to hear shit like that makes it even better. And then on top of it, some of the best friends that I've made in my life have been made, you know, through those things, where not only is it people that are content creators that have become my friend, but people who are just collectors that have, you know, found this show or found whatever, that become friends. I think that's funny because that's watching all the shit that happened with Mark Spears this weekend, you know, made me happy, because it's getting to the point where, you know, I think the content that we make is bringing in not just collectors anymore, it's bringing in creators and industry vets, and they're becoming friends with people in the community because of it, and vice versa. So it's dope, dude. I love it. Good shit.
So I came on to do the opposite thing. I'm coming at you, Brian. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking around. I will push back on one thing you did say, and it's just it's just because I agree with you. It's not a good way to grow your channel, and that if you're doing the same old thing that everybody's doing and stuff. But for the people like me who just like I got the idea off of Comic Fu. I don't know if you know Comic Fu, but he posts videos of just what he picks up to make it a catalog, and that way he could just go back and be like, this is what I picked up when and who I picked it up from, and that in like 10 years you can go back and look at it and be like, oh yeah, I remember that time. That's kind of what I'm doing now. I used to want to grow my channel. I am at 1K and stuff. I did do different kinds of videos, but I'm at the point now where I'm just like, I don't want to put in the effort and that, but I want to put out some videos of what I've collected just to keep a catalog for myself, and others can join in if they want. But yeah,
I totally think that there's nothing wrong with that, and I should you know, say that if that came out wrong, what I mean by that is for the people that want to have it to be something. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody that jumps on YouTube needs to have it be something. It can just be a hangout. It could be like you're talking about, where you're using it as a way to catalog everything. You know, there's many ways to use YouTube, but I'm talking about for the people that are really trying to like turn it into something, like have plans that they maybe want it to be like, you know, if you Nerdrotic or you know, Comic Tom or
for Vengeance.
Yeah, you know, Gem Mint, whatever. Like, there's ideas to come up with that are better than just what everybody else is doing. And that is also very important for me to say, that doing those things aren't wrong. Pickups, are not wrong. That's some of the best content there is. Just because everybody loves seeing pickups. There's nothing wrong with doing pickups. There's nothing wrong with doing lists. There's nothing wrong. It's just you're gonna have a harder time because everybody is doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree on that part. Like how it's not a good way to grow your channel for sure.
What up, Biggie?
I think that's super cool that you're using it to document and catalog shit. That's smart.
I would just have it all to say, good interview, Darth. Great job, Brian. I hope y'all had a good time. And I've been on every episode yet, and I'm keeping my streak going, baby.
And you got they're having a friendly competition. Him and Marcus were. Who gets the most views?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It was mainly to beat Marcus, but I'm trying to beat everybody. But we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, Big is at 301, so we'll see. You know.
So for people that don't know this, I do all the production for House of Stein Hot 10 show. I've been doing all the production for that for I don't know, almost 8 years now, 7 years now, and I do it every Friday because Stein sends me the list about 5 hours before the show if I'm lucky. So 4 hours before every Friday House of Stein show, I'm sitting there doing the list, and it's Biggie's content that I watch. He's always on.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah,
it's usually Biggie, Alan, D, that are on your shows. There's a couple other people. Bleeker's usually on there, and you guys are putting out really good TMs on there. Yeah. So I love that show that you guys do, where you're kind of like everybody's showing off a certain category of a book. There's another example of good content idea. Like there's not a ton of people doing that out there, making some type of game show type atmosphere with it. And you know,
I also
Tower of Babel.
I also like the other show Biggie does, and it's just because it gives us like every person that comes on, like it's the book club, the Wednesday book club, where everybody like so Matt got to pick this week's book, and I think it was Alan. Alan picked a book that I never read, and I didn't think I'd ever go back and read at all. And since he picked it, I did go read it, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And that's Journey into Mystery 83. I didn't like. I'm not a big Marvel guy, so like I wouldn't go out and like read Marvel and that all on my own. So like him being like, "Oh, I'm going to pick this book," kind of made me have to go out and read it, and I'm glad I did because I absolutely love Journey into Mystery 83. That was a great book.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I absolutely like because you don't. It's not the person like each person gets to pick the book and then everybody has to read it. So it opens the door for people to read new things. I like it.
Thanks, Jim. One of my favorite things about Brian's show is that he shouts out my boy Darth during the drama segment, and my boy Darth gets some shine, you know, and you say really nice things about Darth, like how the most interesting person out of the Steal Your Vision is gone now because they didn't know how to treat a good guy. And I remember when Darth came on my channel, I told Darth, I was like, dude, I don't know these guys, but I'm sure they fucked up when they mess with you, dude. Like you're a solid person. So
again,
true. I do like a lot of you guys, including what's up, Mark?
Hey, how's it going? I was just waiting on everyone to get done glazing Brian and Biggie's terms. I'm like, what is this? Everyone's over here just
what's
Brian,
up?
good. I'm not here to glaze Brian. I'm here to kick him right in the shins because he's let this community down. And me personally, I'm extremely let down by this guy. I don't watch his show, nothing against his show. I don't watch a lot of comic book YouTube, surprisingly. I do the live streams, I like to hang out. But I met Brian through Comic Man Andy. We came together like butt cheeks and bonded over the show called The Last of Us. And him and I never even knew each other till we were on panel together. And we had a great time talking and sparring over that show and everything. And now here we are after having to wait an extended period of time for season 2 to be out. And this guy didn't pick up the torch. He didn't do shit to bring us this fantastic content back. And now we're just stuck here watching this show by ourselves without the community really getting together and banding
Bro.
over it. So I'm really pissed at this slacker up here in the top right.
It's funny you bring that up, Dave, because we brought that up during the show. We talked about, man, I do miss Comic Man Andy.
Yeah, so
Where's
much.
that guy, dude? There's that guy.
He's living.
He's out there
He's
going to
living.
metal concerts.
Yo,
and shit. Bands in the
where
80s.
is I was talking to Perry about this. I was like, bro, I actually miss Comic Man Andy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Like-
posts. He's out fishing with his kids and going to shows. He's living.
Yeah,
I used to
doing
love
the
that
fun
bro.
shit.
But he's okay. Like it wasn't something.
No,
Okay.
you just didn't have enough. That's the other thing. Like to create content, it's a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. Everybody that's on here knows that it's
a job.
And
and
just giving
especially
that
if you have
time back
a-
to his household. It was pretty simple.
Yep, there you go. Yep, and it's
You
even
know, as
tougher.
your kids get older, the dynamic in the house can change. His work changes, this and that. It's just he wanted
Yeah.
his time elsewhere.
Yeah, I got to make a deal for my wife to get this hour to 2 hour window.
She out shopping while you're online. Is that the
No, she's
trade-off?
out there
Like,
with
here's
the
the credit
badass-
card.
Badass kids. No, I got to give her mama time. Mom goes out for
Yeah.
half a day. I got the boys, and fair trade.
Yeah,
So I could probably only do one live.
but not to hijack nothing. But what can you like? What are your thoughts on the first 3 episodes, Brian? Are you up to date?
So I'm not up to date yet. I talked some shit about it the other night, just because people were like complaining, and I said I'm not even watching it. Don't tell me because I don't want to know. Not complaining, but I guess there was a major moment that happened where
Yeah.
everybody, and not complaining about it. They were getting ready to talk about it, and I'm like, I haven't seen that episode yet. Don't fucking say anything yet.
Yeah,
So
the internet is divided on that because a lot of people, shocking to me, because I'm not the video game guy. I do the Nintendo 64. That's it. But I was even aware of it before season 1, episode 1 ever came out, just because of
Absolutely.
how much buzz and talk was around that game as it released. But
Yeah.
it blew my mind how many people were blindsided by the story of season 2. And a lot of people are like, what the fuck is this? I didn't sign up for this show. I signed up
Well,
for a different show.
Here's the problem, though. I felt like that was also in season 1. I felt like there was a lot of people that were blindsided by bullshit and that, but everybody was kind of ready for it,
Yeah.
And people just want to get angry about shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people. Like I haven't watched any of it yet. Like any of the first season. I do plan to. I have Crave now, which is like equivalent to like Max in Canada. I do plan to watch it, but I know a lot of people said after episode 2 they're ready to like quit the show, like quit watching it.
Yeah, but that,
I doubt it.
ultimately, that's what makes a show like this, a show like Game of Thrones, a show like
Yeah,
Walking Dead
it's
so
hard.
good. If you're not familiar with the plot ahead of time and you're watching it, there's an actual sense of stakes, of danger. You're afraid to care, but you find yourself reluctantly caring for these characters, and you feel yourself getting frustrated with yourself because you don't know what's going to happen, and no amount of Googling will give you a definitive answer because the next episode's not out yet. This is what TV is made for, is shows and stories like this. And the fact that it can garnish that kind of legitimate emotional reaction from so many people means it did its job right. Whether you're the mad one or you're laughing, either way, the show is
Absolutely.
doing its job.
That's why I wish Warner Brothers, specifically HBO Max production, whatever, had Star Wars.
Oh,
Just
God.
think
Dude.
about, dude, if they had fucking Star Wars, bro, just think about the level of shit we would see.
If they had Star Wars when Luke walked out in front of all the AT-ATs and the Last Jedi, he would have put his hand out and drug them down.
Yes, he would have. Somehow, some way, bro. And
Well,
it's-
have you guys heard about I've been told they're not rumors. I've been told they're true. About
Then
where
they're
they're
true.
going, about Luke Skywalker. Did you hear about the Luke Skywalker shit?
no.
Mark Hamill or in continuity Luke Skywalker?
In continuity, Luke Skywalker. They don't want to do a 3-movie thing about Luke from Jedi to what we know of his end.
Ugh.
Just basically, which I think would be great because I always wanted to see that, but they're not gonna. It's gonna be
Yeah. AI, whatever.
CGI to where it looks like.
But haven't they already kind of like shit the bed with if they're going to attempt that era? Because we know of that era from like the comics and the books. They've already jackbooted some of those stories, which the Ahsoka show I thought was really good. But a lot of the stuff from that time era, like that's the time era.
I don't want to be. I'm a diehard, and I don't want to be in that era no more. I want to move on. I've been wanting to move on from the Luke era. I think
got the last. No, what is it? Last Starfighter is what they pretty much call the new movie coming out with Ryan Starfighter.
I mean, I'll give that a go. But dude, let's get out of the sky. At this point, I'd rather see what.
I don't want to get why get out of the Skywalker saga?
I think that's where they're messed up. That's what Star Wars is Skywalker.
Okay, well, yeah, but that's where Disney and Kathleen Kennedy fucked it all up, and they slowed the franchise down because the sequels didn't do what they were supposed to do.
You know what we should do, Darth? We should like petition for the MCU to get out of the OG Avengers era. If we could only get away from Captain America and Iron Man, it'd be so much better.
That'd be true. But you know what? We could petition if DC could make a fucking good movie. You know what I mean? If they could make a movie, they build a cinematic universe, Mark Wayne. It'd be a better.
I'm just warming you up, buddy. Just warming you up.
I know, bro. Oh, and I'm not even going to use the weapon. I'm not even going to use the weapon.
I am the weapon.
Oh, okay. My whisper cell thinks that I am, but we'll see.
That's good. That's good. It'll be fun.
It will be fun, bro. I like this guy. This guy's got a thing. Yeah.
Even when you say like the Ahsoka even is like has Skywalker in it because it has Anakin.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
And that was the strongest part of the show.
Yes.
I flipped my ish. I'm a prequels guy, like through and through, die-hard prequels guy.
Okay,
I love the original, but I'm a prequels guy. Like my favorite Star Wars movie out of any and all of them is Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. I'm such an oddball on that. Django.
You know what? I think that is no. I think The Last Jedi is the worst Star Wars movie ever. I don't care how cinematically beautiful it looks.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got Attack of the Clones, but I could take a lot from Attack of the Clones, and it hits me in a.
Dude, the amount of story that they gave us and the amount of lore that went into that, and watching Jango Fett, Beast Mode, Obi-Wan, getting the whole clone army creation, like there was so much in that, like the Separatists and the droid army, like all shifting into place. And up into that time, the only thing up until that time that we knew of the Clone Wars was one line of dialogue that Obi-Wan said in Episode 4 to Luke back on Tatooine. You're like, Clone Wars? What the fuck is that?
Dude, that's why I wish there would have been somebody that knew how to write a screenplay or knew how to do character development other than George Lucas.
Yeah.
He was surrounded by yes men. That movie, almost throw away most of that movie.
You can thank Steven Spielberg, Ron, whatever his name is, the kid from what's that guy did?
Ron Howard.
Francis Ford Coppola. You can thank all those directors because he brought all those directors and movie makers into a room and said, I want you guys to make my prequels. And they said, no, we can't do it.
And fast forward to the future, Ron Howard's making the Han Solo movie.
Yeah.
Which he just kind of cleaned up. I mean, the best thing Disney has done is under Tony Gilroy, which is
Rogue One.
Rogue One.
I remember
Clone Wars was pre-Disney.
No, I'm talking about the Clone Wars cartoons.
Oh,
that was pre-Disney. That was
that's pre-Disney. That's solid. I even love season 7.
That's my favorite shit. next to Empire.
No, but what's your Disney era picks?
Oh, Empire Strikes Back, bro.
My Disney picks Andor. Andor is like a solid show.
But Rogue One,
Mandalorian season 1,
can be done without lightsabers, which Andor has done. You can do it without lightsabers. But let me just say, I think that Ahsoka has the greatest arc in Star Wars from beginning to where she's at right now. Hands down.
Y'all think you guys Rogue One worked so well?
I never hated Ahsoka. Everybody hated the little character. And then to see her be a badass, bro, be given, that's one of the best things Filoni has done is give her an arc. The Star Wars season 7, bro, when she fights Darth Maul and a bunch of shit, bro. Dude, she is like.
And Darth Maul becomes a complete badass in those Filoni
Which
you
I'm
know,
excited for what's coming
so-
right now. I think
Mhm.
if they understand the Skywalker era, give us animation. Then you don't have to recast Mark Hamill.
Yeah, animation would be great.
Right.
See, like
and-
the Clone Wars, all that Clone Wars is Skywalker era as well. And like
Yep.
TM
Yeah.
said, Ahsoka live action
but
with
specifically
Skywalker.
the trio. The trio.
but
Mark.
who-
We never got us older dudes, and we never got the trio one last time. One last.
Oh, I agree, dude. I agree. They dropped
Right.
the ball with that. But do you think that Rogue One worked so well because at the time, not only is Garth Edwards is like a top tier, A tier director in anything he does, you can pretty much just pause the movie and make a poster out of it. But do you think Rogue One was so good because it was an anomaly? You know, since Rogue One, they've done other things that are they try to get away from Skywalker stuff, and none of it hit outside of Mandalorian.
No.
And only for
And
two
even Rogue One, like had Darth Vader in it, which is a Skywalker.
Gil,
So-
so Edward. Wait a minute. One of them started it, but Gilroy finished it. I think Gilroy is credited in the screen for screenwriting it, like maybe
which
it's
one?
cool type of thing. But what Tony Gilroy did with it to like save the film, if that's how we're gonna look at it, was good. To me, that space battle at the end is, I'm sorry, to me it's better than the Return of the Jedi when they
Which
go
one?
destroy the district. And Rogue One,
Hmm.
where they're fighting over the planet. I can't think of the planet, the shield.
and yeah, it was
Scarif?
Andor. It was Andor, wasn't it?
No, that's in Rogue One. At the end of Rogue One, they're fighting over, is it Scarif? Where they got the plans for the Death Star to send it up to Leia. That space battle over that planet with the shield, I think it's the best space battle I've ever seen in Star Wars. Right? I think it's Scarif.
Yeah, Scarif.
Yeah, it's Scarif.
So
It's Scarif.
Yo,
you
got the
guys,
AT-AT walkers with the camouflage on them and like the ports
Yes,
open on, like dude,
Yeah.
It's a war movie, bro. What they did, and people don't realize, it's a fucking espionage war.
It looked like a Star Wars movie too.
Yeah.
So many of those
Yeah.
other things didn't look like Star Wars. They didn't feel like Star Wars. And I think people that go, "Oh, it's so different because it feels so different because it is different." It felt better. It felt the same to me. It felt like good
Mhm.
Star Wars. You know what I mean? I don't think it was crazy different. I felt like it reminded me of cinematic Star Wars and looked like old school Star Wars and
I
had
think
that.
different. I just mean stands out as
Oh,
quality.
I know.
Star
Yeah, I
Wars
know what you
kind of
mean.
thing,
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
so you
totally.
guys said,
The
could
rest
you
of them feel
imagine if
different too, but it's not in a good way.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
you guys
Tim.
said earlier, like, could you imagine if Warner Brothers got a hold of Star Wars? But like, my thoughts is like, what if Apple did? Apple TV got a hold.
Dude, I've been saying Apple since like there was a guy at Renovision. I remember we'd always talk about it. Apple, bro, has good quality TV shows, well written, well directed, production, everything. And the sucky thing about it is the ratings are low. To the point
No,
where I
that's
think,
because they don't promote anything.
yes, they don't, bro.
Like
Dude,
that-
with Vince Vaughn, funny. There's a show about
yes.
in Florida.
What was it? Monkey something.
Yeah,
Bad Monkey.
Right.
Yes,
Bad
it was
Monkey.
great.
The monster movie, the Godzilla,
Monarch,
yes, Fire, the
Severance,
Silo,
Severance, Silo, Shrinking, Ted Lasso.
the one they go back in time, it's time traveling, it's sci-fi, bro. Aliens coming, bro. It's fucking fantastic. They got
Foundation.
yeah. If they had it,
I haven't watched Foundation, but like, I highly recommend Bad Monkey. Bad Monkey was great.
Yeah. That's the one shit I watched. I kind of almost binge watched it, and it's hard for me to kind of do that because my kids. But I made time. Because it's rated R, and I love Vince Vaughn. I love Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn is my type of humor. Apple has really good shit. I don't know about Prime.
Yeah, it also has the guy. I keep forgetting his name, but he appeared in the second Deadpool movie, and he was the reason why the Deadpool Corps stopped fighting. He just showed up, and he remember that guy with the mustache. Peter, yeah, he's in Bad Monkey too.
Dude, that is him. That is
yeah.
him. He's got a dude. That show. I recommend Apple.
Arguably the most important character in the whole trilogy.
Yeah. Right. Well, he didn't show up in the first one, but he showed up in the second one.
That's how important he is.
Yeah.
We've been 2 hours. I mean, I'm probably ready to call it.
It's been a great show, man.
It is. I don't want to. You know what I mean. You know, like I said, I'm on borrowed time with the wife. So, but I think all of you guys for coming on. If you guys want to plug your shit, Mark Wayne, me and Mark Wayne hold for me. He's already committed. We're just gonna. He's got to tell me when he can do it, whatever time. And it's gonna be not much drama. We're just gonna fuck around. You know what I mean?
Or is it?
Huh?
I said, or is it?
It's up to you, Mark Wayne. I don't really see you as a drama guy. I know you're battle content ready. I know you are. I know you got clips on all of us.
I might pull out the notebook on you.
Hey, but it's where
I don't think I wouldn't say Mark is drama, but he's bullshit ready. He's ready to call people on their bullshit.
I don't need to start drama, but I'm ready to argue with anybody at any time.
Absolutely. That's why I like the guy.
Yeah, just bring chaos in.
That's what I might whisper. TM, you got something coming up, right? Oh, well, you'll be on next week. TM's got a bunch of drama I've never even heard of, dude. Like from another of channel friends I've never even heard of, dude.
Yeah, I'll be on next week, and then this upcoming, instead of Wednesday, we're doing book club on Thursday because D is busy on Wednesday, and we'll be reviewing the first appearance of Superboy Prime this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern over on Biggie Shack's channel, and then the Collector Club this Friday, Mad Spidey's on Saturday, Church on Sunday on Bleecker Street's Comics channel. Yeah,
I like Bleecker.
Oh yeah.
I mean, a lot of good people in this community. McClay.
Tomorrow we'll be doing the industry show, talking about the diamond flip flop again. Wednesday night will be a big show because we're gonna get Mark Spears on to join us.
Ooh.
Mark Spears to join us with Big Leg, Big Clutch to tell us about all the craziness that happened at Huntsville, because they were all three there, along with the boy who's in the chat right now, Red Hood. Red Hood had a really great time. So that'll be Wednesday. And then Thursday, if anybody wants to come buy some comic books, I'll have a comic book sale either on Whatnot or eBay Live. And then Friday, we will be House of Stein, right back at it on Saturday night from Honor Comic Mayhem.
So Mark Spears will be on with you on Beyond Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
He's been
I don't think this isn't the first time either. Like he's been on a couple of times, right?
Yeah.
Mark's your guy. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna be there for sure. God damn,
it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So,
all right, man. I'm gonna call it before the wifey gets mad. Thankfully, I haven't got any text.
Sicko, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, everybody for coming on. Thank you, everybody in the chat. I appreciate it. Be safe out there. God bless.
Much love, guys.